Hey guys, this is Diana Ballard, and welcome to the Mom Training Podcast, where we discuss the skills and strategies to create possibilities in motherhood and make it more fun, efficient, organized, and peaceful. You can find more information or connect with me online at dianaballard.com or at Diana Ballard Live on social media. The struggle is real, but maybe we can lighten some pressure that we're feeling. So here on the Mom Training Podcast, we're focusing a lot on mindset right now, which the way that we think is one of the most important things that we can focus on and train. For what we believe and think is what is possible in the world around us and what we allow ourselves to create and receive. So today we're focusing on one specific mindset, which really is a skill set if you can train your mind to think this way and look ahead. That mindset is being able to adjust our expectations in different times and seasons of life. Whether we can plan for that change that's coming or a new season that hits us by surprise. But it's about being able to recognize when those new seasons come and being smart in our choices of what we can take on and what we can let go of. Because we've all worked on goals and projects and new habits, and it could possibly go smoothly, but could also suddenly become really challenging when something new comes up or resistance hits. And being able to adjust our expectations and how we see ourselves during that adjustment is really important. So let's talk about some new seasons that can come in adjusting our expectations. There are seasons that we can plan for: a new baby, a child leaving to kindergarten, you or your spouse graduating from school, buying a new house, changing jobs, moving someplace new. These are things that we can see coming and plan for as much as possible. For in these new seasons, we can work on creating a plan of how to get through the new time. Like, looking ahead, saying, okay, I can see this change. What can I do to prepare for that, to make it a little more smoother? Can I pack the house a lot sooner? Can I start purging the house 6 months before? Can I start collecting boxes that I can put aside? Stuff like that. Like, what can I prepare for? And we can know how to create that plan by asking people who have been through the same situation, doing some research, and for me, writing out my thoughts and thinking of how I can cover all the bases that I can see may come with the change. And again, asking people that have been through these situations, learn from their mistakes, what they wish they had done, and what helped them get through the new situation. So a wise question to ask them is how to prevent stress and problems during this time. You can figure out what preparation might need to be done and also how to better adjust your expectations of yourself during that time. Some advice may be give yourself some time to adjust, slow down, make sure you're getting some me time, focus on your sleep for it'll combat the stress. Take the info you learn, ponder it, and decide what really resonates with you. Because everyone's situation and experiences are going to be different. So you may not have the same exact things happen. But when you're interviewing people, it's all about gathering information and not assuming every hardship will be yours. It's about having the balance of, I'm not going into this situation completely naive. I'm not trying to do this on my own, but I'm also going to believe that because of my preparation and, figuring out what type of information and experiences can happen, my experience can be better than if I didn't gather information and do a little preparation. Does that make sense? So when these horror stories come in, protect your mindset. Don't accept them as your reality, but as knowledge of someone else's experience and one that you can learn from. So then when the time or new season comes, have the mindset going into the new situation with an open mind, being willing to adjust your thoughts and expectations if you need to. Having done a little work of prevention beforehand, your peace level will be a lot calmer. So just to share an example, I just had my third child and I'm in a new season, a season where I have chosen to slow down and let myself adjust and recuperate. My first child, I gave myself the freedom to slow down and prevented postpartum depression, and it was wonderful. With my second child, we moved to a new state when the baby was 4 weeks old. My husband started grad school and had 2 jobs, leaving all my support system and family far away. I had to do way more than I really should have. My expectations of myself had to increase, and because of that, I had bad postpartum depression after baby number 2. So with baby number 3, I've really worked to protect this time after having the baby and to lower my expectations of myself and let myself rest and adjust. So this time I am giving myself 8 weeks to heal and adjust before I jump back into trying to create a new structure or routine for my family. That doesn't mean I'm letting everything fall apart around me, but I've also worked to take a lot of pressure off of myself. I've hired help again once a week that can help me with weekly meal plans. I have freezer meals in place. I've created grocery lists so my husband can do the shopping for a little bit. I pre-recorded a handful of podcasts. I've written extra blogs for the company I write for each month. I've set it up to back down for a couple months from things that I'm responsible for. Now, was that a lot of work? Yeah, it was. I had to work my tail off the last 3 months before having the baby. But it's all worth it, right? And also setting up like expectations of myself with people I interact with, like letting them know, hey, I'll be resting for 8 weeks after the baby. So just letting you know if I don't participate in something like hosting preschool at my house during that time, being at certain meetings or helping with leadership training in our church, stuff like that. And pre-gaming my husband that I won't be at my same speed for a little while, so I might need you to help pick up some of the slack, right? Like doing the dishes or, sticking to paper plates or whatever, right? But now you may be thinking, Diana, I'd be bored out of my mind if I stepped back from everything for 8 weeks. And I agree. And we'll see what I decide to do as time goes on. But the point is taking the pressure and expectations off of ourselves during a season that might require us to slow down. Then testing the waters when the time comes about what we take on or not. But in my experience, it's better to prep and make some decisions about being okay to slow down before getting to the moment, which can prevent ourselves from being completely worn out. And you'll know if you're ready for something by your overall peace level. We still may need to push ourselves in the moment sometimes, but it's okay to slow down and take a little rest during different seasons of life. And for me, I know I'll be so much more productive after the 8 weeks if I really make sure I'm taking the time to adjust, let my body heal, and let life roll a little bit instead of picking up the reins again right away. And then there are seasons that come that we may not expect, an injury, an illness, loss of job, death of a loved one. A new season may start without any planning. These things can be hard to step back and look at the whole picture, especially in the beginning. And this is when the true mindset of changing our expectations, having grace with ourselves, and adjusting how and what we're doing can really help us. It is in these challenging seasons that we may need to slow down our pace and reevaluate what is important to us and what we're capable of, and then adjusting what we expect of ourselves. Sometimes our focus may need to change and focus on restoring our health, helping someone else through a challenge, or spending extra time working out a solution for a current problem. So if you're going through a challenging time, whether it was one you saw coming and did some preparation for or not, or a season that caught you by surprise, I hope you can step back and look at how you could adjust your expectations about yourself and what you're capable of so you don't wear yourself out. And even if we have to slow down a bit, step back and say no to something, it is important to not let our worth be affected by doing so. I know I've had to work on this a lot in my life of not connecting my ability and accomplishments to how I feel about myself. So as we go in to adjust our expectations in the new season and challenging time, let's go in with the mindset that we are choosing to slow down. We are choosing to take care of ourselves, our needs, and the needs around us in the most efficient way possible, and that we're choosing to adjust our expectations, say no, step down, slow down, whatever it may be. And we're still wonderful, beautiful women with purpose and worth. And that we love ourselves in this new season and the way of doing things. Because adjusting our expectations of how we feel about ourselves in the process is just as important as how we adjust what we're doing. So whatever season that you're in right now, step back and look at what is in our capacity and what may need to be adjusted. Let's have grace with ourselves as we are learning, growing, and struggling through a specific time. Hope you have a great day, and we'll see you next week on the Mom Training Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning into the Mom Training Podcast. If you liked what you heard, I would so appreciate a rating and review from you on any platform you listen to this on. If you have any questions or podcast ideas, you can message me on my social media at Diana Ballard Live or shoot me an email on my website. See you next week.